Welcome to 365 Language Planet. This is Let's Speak English and Nihongo Live, episode 34. The theme of this episode is Summer 2025, Part 2. Before we start, let's check this month's 365 language galaxies, stars, moons, and planets. So far this month, we have two galaxies, K-Workshop and Kan Mama, way to go. And one star, Y-O, nice job. And one moon, Takesh, nice job. And 3 planets, A Hybrid, A, and Takanona. Nice job. If you want to become 365 Language Planet, all you need to do is share an idea in the chat or in the comments. So, let's begin. Hajimemashou. The first question of tonight's show is, what was your favorite moment this summer? 日本語でこの夏一番楽しかった瞬間は何でしたか? Please write your answer in the chat or in the comments. チャットまたはコメントに答えを書いてください. You have 4 minutes. 4分間あります. Alright, so what was your favorite moment this summer? Please write your answer in the chat or in the comments. この夏一番楽しかった瞬間は何でしたか? チャットまたはコメントに答えを書いてください. This is kind of a tough question for me. I had a lot of great moments this summer. So I would say for me, one of my favorite moments was having a beer garden party with my students at Takashimaya Beer Garden. How about you? What was your favorite moment this summer? Please write your answer in the chat or in the comments. この夏一番楽しかった瞬間は何でしたか? チャットまたはコメントに答えを書いてください. One more of my favorite moments this summer was going to Osaka Castle with my family for the first time. It was an amazing, very beautiful castle. So I'm so happy I could see that. But how about you? What was your favorite moment this summer? Please write your answer in the chat or in the comments. この夏一番楽しかった瞬間は何でしたか? チャットまたはコメントに答えを書いてください. Alright, if you're just joining the show, you're welcome to share your ideas in the chat. What was your favorite moment this summer? Please write your answer in the chat or in the comments. この夏一番楽しかった瞬間は何でしたか? チャットまたはコメントに答えを書いてください. I'd say one more of my favorite moments this summer was going to the beer garden with my brother and his wife. That was very exciting and very fun. But how about you? What was your favorite moment this summer? And then, if you don't have a favorite moment, that's okay too. You could say, oh, I had no favorite moments this summer. That would be okay too. All right, K Workshop. Thank you for joining tonight's show. Says one of my favorite moments this summer was riding to Mount Yatsugadake in Nagano. Sounds fun. All right. Well, if you're typing, please continue and please share your favorite moment this summer anytime. So I look forward to reading and hearing about your favorite moments this summer. Now, let's move on to the next section of tonight's show. So now, please write a new question in the chat or in the comments. All right, K Workshop says it was a cool place with nice views, I guess. That's great. Sounds wonderful. I want to visit someday. That's cool. Okay, well now, please write a new question in the chat or in the comments. 今、チャットまたはコメントに新しい質問を書いてください. You have 4 minutes. All right, Takanona, thank you for joining tonight's show. My favorite moment this summer was when I went to see a professional ballroom dance performance with my wife. Wow, sounds fun and romantic. That's cool. All right, so now you can write a new question in the chat or in the comments. 今、チャットまたはコメントに新しい質問を書けます。It could be about summer. It could be about, you could just change my question to make a new question. You can make a question about summer, or you can make a question about anything. I would, for me, I think one new question I would ask is, did you have a nice summer? It's a very simple question, but a good question. Did you enjoy this summer? Did you get heat exhaustion this summer? Did you questions are always great questions for a conversation using did you. But anything is okay. Please enjoy trying to make and write new questions in the chat or in the comments. ぜひチャットまたはコメントに新しい質問を書いてみてください. All right, K Workshop says, what was your favorite food you ate this summer? Great question. Tough question. I don't know. I ate a lot of good food this summer, so that is a tough question. How about you, K Workshop? What was your favorite food you ate this summer? I'd say, for me, thinking about drinks, my favorite drink I drank this year is the Bitterest by Asahi. I love the Bitterest. It's a very delicious beer. But for food, it's kind of a tough question. I think the food I enjoyed eating the most this summer was okonomiyaki in Osaka with my family. That was good. All right. K Workshop says Vietnamese noodle called pho. I had at Lotus was amazing. That's great. All right. And Takesh, thank you for joining tonight's show. Takesh says, what was the most delicious food this summer? For me, the shaved ice from the convenience store was the best. Wow, that's great. I'm happy to hear that. You got some delicious shaved ice. This summer, I have not eaten shaved ice yet, shockingly. All right, Takanona says, wasn't this summer hotter than usual? I think so. But, I think it's kind of interesting because it was so hot that I kind of got used to the heat. And then it was like, the super hot day feels kind of normal now. That's so crazy. Okay, great. Great question, Takanona. All right. Let's move on to the second question of tonight's show, which is, what do you want to do next summer? 日本語で、来年の夏は何をしたいですか? Please write your answer in the chat or in the comments. チャットまたはコメントに答えを書いてください. You have 4 minutes. 4分間あります. All right, so the question is, what do you want to do next summer? 来年の夏は何をしたいですか? Please write your answer in the chat or in the comments. 来年の夏は何をしたいですか? チャットまたはコメントに答えを書いてください. One of my friends who lives in Hokkaido is going to have a 20th anniversary of living in Japan party in Hokkaido next summer. And so I want to go visit. I want to go to Hokkaido and join his party next summer. So that's my dream. My dream for next summer is to go to Hokkaido. How about you? What do you want to do next summer? Please write your answer in the chat or in the comments. 来年の夏は何をしたいですか? チャットまたはコメントに答えを書いてください. I'm definitely hoping it will be cooler next summer. And I know, I hope, it's kind of crazy, but I hope it will rain a little bit more this summer. I feel like this summer, I'm happy when it doesn't rain because it's easy to go outside. It's easy to go to the beer garden. But if it doesn't rain enough, it kind of makes me nervous about the future. So I hope it rains a little bit more next summer. But not when I go to Hokkaido. When I go to Hokkaido, I hope the weather will be sunny, not too hot, not rainy. I hope. But how about you? What do you want to do next summer? Please write your answer in the chat or in the comments. 来年の夏は何をしたいですか? チャットまたはコメントに答えを書いてください. I was a little disappointed this year. I wasn't able to join the Haruna Triathlon. So if I have time and money and energy, I hope next summer I I want to do the Haruna Lake Triathlon. How about you? What do you want to do next summer? Please write your answer in the chat or in the comments. 来年の夏は何をしたいですか？チャットまたはコメントに答えを書いてください。If you don't want to do nothing, that's okay too. You might say, I don't want to do anything next summer. I just want to stay home. That's okay too. All right, K-Workshop says, if possible, I want to stay in Kushiro City in Hokkaido all summer. Kushiro is one of the coolest cities in Japan. Nice idea. Eka says, I want to drive a little further, I think. For example, I could try to go to the Tohoku region. If you want to, you can just say that. I could try the Tohoku region. Sounds fun. Nice idea. All right. Well, if you are still typing, all right, Takanona says, I want to travel to a cool place next summer. Sounds great. Nice idea. All right. Well, let's move on to the next section of tonight's show. So now, please write a new question in the chat or in the comments. チャットまたはコメントに新しい質問を書いてください。You have 4 minutes. 4分間あります。All right, so now you can write a new question in the chat or in the comments. 今、チャットまたはコメントに新しい質問を書けます。You can write a new question by changing my question. For example, what do you want to do this fall? I think that's would be a good question, for example. Or you can make another question about summer, like, what was the worst moment this summer for you, for example? Or you can make a completely new question, like different topic, different theme. That's okay too. Anything is okay. I'll just say, please try to enjoy using English. Farther. Okay, no problem, Takesh. Nice correction. Farther. I want to drive a little farther. Nice. I love the bitterest beer in Japan by Asahi, but okay. Anyways, let's see K-Workshop sentence in question. This summer was the hottest I have ever experienced. How about you? Me too. I was kind of joking with my wife today. I was like, it's like we live in Arizona. In the U.S., Arizona is one of the hottest places in America. It's a very, very hot kind of desert state. So I was kind of joking, like, oh man, Guma is like living in Arizona. It's so hot in the summer. So yeah, and we didn't have much rain. So that for me, I think, this summer was so hot, and it didn't have much rain, which is so strange for Guma. Usually there's a lot of rain in Guma, like in the evenings, sometimes afternoons, but not so much this summer. Very interesting. All right. Well, if you have a new question, please write it in the chat or in the comments. 新しい質問があれば、チャットまたはコメントに書いてください。I think one kind of interesting question might be, did you try to start anything new this summer? One big thing. I started two new things this summer. One was learning Italian. I started learning Italian. And two, I started going to the gym again. A new gym. Well, a new gym for me. It's kind of an old gym, but yeah, I started going to a new gym. All right, Takanona says, what do you like to drink on a hot day? Great question. Well, recently I have a new kind of favorite drink. I'll bring it to the camera. Lemon sour. Lemon sour. So it's kind of a good drink because it's a little, sometimes if I buy a bottle of like shochu or whiskey, then, I can drink a lot. But if I buy cans, there's not, it's kind of limited about how much I can drink. So how about you, Takanona? What do you like to drink on a hot day? All right, Kan Mama, thank you for joining tonight's show. Kan Mama says, do you want to do anything good for your health this summer? Great question. Do you want to do anything good? Well, kind of. One thing I'm trying to do is I'm trying to go to bed earlier and get up earlier. So I've been trying to get up at 6 a.m. every day. And, try to go to bed around 11. How about you, Kan Mama? Please let me know when you have a chance. Okay, well, great job. Let's move on to the next section of tonight's show. The third question, which is actually fun with languages. The game for language lovers. In this game, I will show you 8 useful phrases in Japanese. 日本語で役立つフレーズを8つ紹介します。Then, we have 2 minutes to write each phrase in English or any other language. 英語または他の言語で書くフレーズを書くのに2分かかります。Let's begin! 始めましょう。So, the first phrase is バスはどこですか? Alright, so how do you say this phrase in English or any other language? Let me know in the chat. このフレーズを英語や他の言語でどういう意味でしょうか? チャットで教えてください。You have 2 minutes. The phrase is バスはどこですか? So I think this is a very simple, very easy phrase, but it is a very useful phrase because you can use it to not just talk about buses. You can use it to talk about everything. For example, a phone. All right, Kan Mama, nice idea. And Takesh, nice idea too. Okay, Workshop, nice idea. Takanona, nice idea. All right. Do you guys know how to say this phrase in any other languages? I guess some of you might know how to say this phrase in Korean. Basu wa doko desu ka? How do you say this phrase in English or any other language? Let me know in the chat. このフレーズを英語や他の言語でどう言うでしょうか？チャットで教えてください。バスはどこですか？ In German, you can say, Wo ist der Bus? Wo ist der Bus? It's kind of interesting, in German. Where is the bus? Wo ist der Bus? Bus. All right. Well, maybe the next time you see me, you can tell me how to say, and you guys are all right. In English, the answer is, where is the bus? Or, where's the bus? Both are okay. All right. So, the next phrase is, 道に迷いました. How do you say this phrase in English or any other language? Let me know in the chat. このフレーズを英語や他の言語でどう言うでしょうか？チャットで押してください。You have 2 minutes. 2分間あります。Wow, so fast. So fast. Nice idea, K-Workshop, and nice idea, Kanmama. 道に迷いました. How do you say this phrase in English or any other language? Do you know how to say this in another language? Akesh, nice idea. Yes, you can also say, you can say that too, K-Workshop. Yes, nice idea. I think, I a little bit regret not adding, sumimasen, before this expression. You might say, sumimasen, michi ni mayoimashita. Tetsudatte kudasai. But, sometimes people just say this phrase to themselves. In Italian, you can say, mi sono perso. I think, I'm not a native Italian speaker, so you should always double check if that's correct or not. But I think, according to my memory, that's how you say, 道に迷いました. Okay, you guys are all correct. You can say, I'm lost. Nice, thank you, Taka. Yes, good phrase. Yes, sorry, I'm lost. Please help me. Very good. Great. Yes, you can say, I'm lost or I got lost. Okay, great job. So the next phrase is, タクシーが必要です. All right, I'm going to start the timer. You have 2 minutes. Okay, so how do you say this phrase in English or any other language? Let me know in the chat. タクシーが必要です. このフレーズを英語や他の言語でどう言うでしょうか？チャットで教えてください。All right, nice idea, K-Workshop. Nice idea, Kanmama. Takushi ga hitsuyou desu. Sometimes people call this kind of English or this kind of language is called survival language. Simple, but very important for your survival. One time, after drinking after a long night of drinking, I got lost, and I didn't know how to find my home, and so I went to a izakaya in Japan, and I asked the staff, takushi ga hitsuyo desu, and they helped me. They helped me, and so I was very lucky. In Spanish, it's interesting. It's very similar to English. In Spanish, necesito un taxi. All right. Necesito un taxi. But you guys are all correct. In English, very simple phrases. I need a taxi, or I need to take a taxi. That's okay too. Great job. All right, so let's move on to the next phrase, which is 私はここの出身ではありません. So, how do you say this phrase in English or any other language? Let me know in the chat. このフレーズを英語や他の言語でどう言うでしょうか? チャットで教えてください. You have 2 minutes. 2分あります. 私はここの出身ではありません. All right, nice idea, Takesh. Nice idea, Kanama. Sometimes when people say this phrase, they kind of put their hands up and they're like, "Oh, 私はここの出身ではありません." They kind of shake their hands like, "I don't know. Sorry." No, that's kind of, if you want to, you can add sorry too, like sorry, すみません or ごめんなさい. 私はここの出身ではありません. Oh, nice idea, okay, workshop. Very unique way to answer this question. This time, I'm going to answer this question using German. It's kind of similar to English, the German sentence for this one. Nice idea, Takunono. Okay. So in German, you can say, Ich bin nicht von hier. Kind of similar to English. Ich bin nicht von hier. At least the last part of this sentence. So you guys are all correct. Nice job. I'm not from here. I'm a stranger here. Nice job. So yeah, in English we say from here. In German, von hier. Von hier. So kind of almost same. Okay. Let's move on to number 5. So, ホテルを探さなければなりません. How do you say this phrase in English or any other language? Let me know in the chat. このフレーズを英語や他の言語でどう言うでしょうか? チャットで教えてください. You have 2 minutes. 2分間あります. ホテルを探さなければなりません. All right, nice one, K Workshop. Nice one, Takesh. Now you can use have to, you can use need to, you can even use must, but I think have to or need to is more natural. How do you say ホテルを探さなければなりません in English or any other language? Please let me know in the chat. All right, nice idea. Takanona. So, let's see. Nice idea, Kan Mama. I just learned how to say this in Italian. Devo trovare un hotel. In Italian, you can say Devo trovare un hotel. All right. Okay, well, in English, just like you guys wrote, you can say, I have to find a hotel. I need to find a hotel. And you could even, if you want to, you could say, I must find a hotel. But I would say have to or need to are the most natural. Okay, so phrase number 6. すみません。ホテルを探していますが. All right, how do you say this phrase in English or any other language? Let me know in the chat. You have 2 minutes. すみません。ホテルを探していますが. How do you say this? このフレーズを英語や他の言語でどう言うでしょうか? チャットで教えてください. This is, I think, this is one of the most useful phrases in Japanese for me. I often use this phrase at supermarkets and in shopping malls. When I first moved to Japan, I would, be looking. One time, I wanted to buy gloves. And at the time, I didn't know how to say gloves in Japanese. And so I was like, gloves を探していますが. All right, Takesh, nice idea. All right, nice idea too, Kanmama and Takanona. Now, I know gloves are like teibukuro, I think, right? Teibukuro, gloves. But, man, at the time I was like, I didn't know how to say it, and I didn't have a smartphone, so I couldn't check. Nice idea, K Workshop. All right. So, let's see. I think really interesting, in Spanish, you can say, disculpe, estoy buscando un hotel. Okay, which means the same thing as you guys wrote. Like, excuse me, I'm looking for a hotel. It's really interesting. In Italian and Spanish, they don't pronounce the H. It's like hotel. But in German and English, it's like hotel. So there's a really interesting difference between the languages. Okay, great job. Okay, let's move on to number 7. すみません、わかりません. How do you say this phrase in English or any other language? Let me know in the chat. You have 2 minutes. すみません、わかりません。このフレーズを英語や他の言語でどう言うでしょうか？チャットで教えてください。すみません、わかりません。This is a little tough because you can translate わかりませんa few different ways. Yeah, which, okay, workshop. That's one way you can translate わかりません. So for me and for a lot of people who study Japanese, わかりません is kind of confusing. Nice idea. And Mama and Takesh. Nice idea. Takanona. Man, right now I wanted to say in German, but I kind of forgot. All right, okay, workshop, nice idea. And yeah, Takesh, yes. I think, and I just, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm gonna try. Tut mir leid. Ich weiß es nicht. All right, so that's how I think you say it in German. Tut mir leid. Ich weiß es nicht. Just like you guys all said, sorry, I don't know. But, they were saying, wakarimasen, like, I don't know, I don't get it, I don't understand, I'm not sure. There are many ways to translate wakarimasen, so this is a tough one. That was a tough one. Okay, last one for tonight is watashi wa koko ni sunde imasen. How do you say this phrase in English or any other language? Let me know in the chat. 私はここに住んでいません。このフレーズを英語や他の言語でどう言うでしょうか？チャットで教えてください。All right, nice one, Takesh. Great. All right. Nice one, Pan Mama. Nice idea, Takanona. So I would, this one, kind of, in combination to the last phrase. So like, すみません、わかりません。私はここに住んでいません. Or, you can say at the beginning, like, oh, 私はここに住んでいません. すみません、わかりません. Okay, workshop. Nice idea. Yeah, you can do both. You can use the present tense or the present continuous. So, nice idea. Let's see if I can do it really quick in Spanish. No vivo aquí. All right, in Spanish, I'll just say no vivo aquí. Very simple. I don't, like you guys said, I don't live here, or I'm not living here. If you say not living here, I would recommend saying like at the moment. Like, I'm not living here at the moment, or I'm not living here now. But yeah, great job, everyone. All right, well, that's the end of tonight's show. Thank you so much for studying languages with me and all our study buddies. We have this show, Let's Speak English and Nihongo, live on Sundays at 8:30 p.m. Japan Standard Time. So, if you haven't already, please subscribe and give the show a big thumbs up. All right. I hope everyone has a great night, and I'll see you next time. Mata chikai uchi ni aimashou. So, have a good night.